Ah, yes. Welcome in to Colby Sapp's Mystery Shotgun. I am your host, Colby Sapp, along with Pod Racer Tim. It is time for me to get through all the things that are going on in the Marvel Universe and the DC Universe as we're going into a little movie talk. First of all, getting into the MCU real quick as we have hinted at, and if you've went and seen it, then you know what the end spoiler is for the cutscene at the end of the movie. If you haven't, I apologize for this and close your ears, but it's come about on Twitter that Kelsey Grammer is saying that he thinks there is room for him in the MCU, that it won't just be a one time he was in a cutscene, that there will be more of him playing Beast coming up. That's kind of what his feelers are getting. He's not saying anything's to be announced, but he's feeling really good, according to people around him, about him getting to play that character again. So if you
he was a good one too, right?
Yeah,
like
he
we
was
approve of Beast.
Yes, because of his way of intellectually speaking, and that character really needed that.
Basically, Blue Fraser.
Yes, and I wanted to. By the way, the Marvels movie's not doing too well. Everybody, it's not.
But Colby, they say on the commercials it's the #1 movie in the world.
It is, because it's one of the few movies that's airing worldwide.
Oh, so they're tricking us with their words,
right? So because
technically we're the #1 show in the world.
Because if you were to say this right now time slot, yes.
See,
right? Dang, because we're airing worldwide right now.
Yeah.
So we're
Start
probably at least number 10 on that list. So yes, so that's, and you know what? Another affirmation of that is that your new Lex Luthor has been found. And we get into DC properties because your new Lex Luthor is another guy.
Can I guess?
That played Beast.
Oh, so it's not Gene Hackman?
It is not Gene Hackman. It is, however, Nicholas Hoult.
Don't know him.
Do you remember X-Men Days of Futures Past?
Mm-hmm.
Those movies?
Mm-hmm.
That guy that played Beast?
Okay.
I
remember him.
He's Lex Luthor.
Oh, wow. Is he going to be bald?
He's going to be amazing. That's all I care about, is he's going to be amazing.
And what do you base that on?
Just because of his style of character.
Okay.
And when you see his character, you automatically think intellectual. Mm-hmm. And Lex has to be that guy. Like, I'm sorry, Eisenberg, when I saw you as Lex Luthor, I didn't think you were smart.
I thought he invented Facebook.
I mean, right. But this guy looks like that. It was an excellent pick, because you also have to realize they're going for younger characters. And so he looks like he could play a younger Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. You don't really want to go for the old guy, the old menacing, weathered guy. You want to go for that. And that's perfect for Lex Luthor.
Are they ever going to bring back Mrs. Pasternak?
The Tesseract? What did you say?
Mrs. Pasternak.
Mrs. Pasternak.
Wasn't that Valerie Perrine in the first Superman with Gene Hackman, the hot chick that was his little side piece?
Okay. Yes.
Was that a comic book character?
So he's had assistants before. His assistant is also being played, and really good pick. So it's not going directly from your Justice League and such animated stuff to where they had a certain cyborg woman playing in this role, but they are going to have his assistant that'll become his love interest. So it's going to be I don't know if they're going to use that name or not, have you? But she will be in it. But some of the other things that are being confirmed is happening is throughout the cast is they're going to have a metamorpho in here. Superman villain who basically can take on the other things around him and use them to his ability. So, basically just suck in other, kind of like a parasite, but not really. So this character is going to be in there. And the guy that got playing him is Anthony Kerrigan, which if you look at the character and you look at Anthony Kerrigan, you're just like, I totally see this. This is totally going to work. So the cast list is reading like, that's a perfect casting. That's a perfect casting. That's a perfect casting. You've got they've already got somebody playing Jimmy Olsen, which I had his name. I'll have to look it back up again because I don't remember him from much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
But his photo op, without even trying to look like Jimmy Olsen, looks like Jimmy Olsen.
Just already without any makeup or anything.
Just already. Perfect casting.
It's probably not a very good thing.
But your Guy Gardner in this, they have him listed on IMDb or whatever as Hal Jordan. I believe he's going to be playing Guy Gardner, which is your Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And Guy Gardner is your less mature Green Lantern. He's the hard ass, smart mouth, not always thinking. They've got Nathan Fillion playing him.
Wow.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's pretty good right there.
Come on.
I like him.
So we get, by the way, he has voiced Green Lantern characters in the animated movies where it's Nathan's voice as them. Now the opportunity of him actually being a Green Lantern on the silver screen, if I can use an antiquated reference.
It's still the silver screen.
That's amazing.
Cool.
I am so excited. So the guy that got playing Superman, by the way, if you didn't know, is still David Cornsweet or Cornsweet. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Close enough.
All I can tell you is that he's been beefing up. He actually just looks like Henry Cavill.
Oh, wow.
Now, just a younger version of Henry Cavill. So, Rachel Brosnahan, that's Lois Lane. Good pick.
We've seen pictures of them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good picks. But we are also getting notes of who else is going to be in this movie. Because I already mentioned Lex Luthor is going to be in this movie. I already mentioned that Metamorpho is going to be in this movie. We also are going to have Isabella Merced. She's going to be Hot Girl. So you're going to have Hot Girl.
Wait, there's a character that's just called Hot Girl?
Yeah, so there's Hawkman and Hot Girl.
Huh. Okay, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well,
is she at least hot?
And every time I've seen a Hot Girl, yes. Okay,
Very confused.
I'm not. Excuse me, folks. I'll quickly explain Hawkman and Hawk Girl to Tim.
Oh, are you saying Hawk?
Hawk.
With a K?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was hearing with a T. Hot Girl and Hot Guy.
No.
And I'm like, wait, what? Okay,
so it's Hawkman and Hawk Girl.
Gotcha.
So when you have both of them, all right. So do you remember Will Smith's superhero movie?
Hitch?
No, it was
what Hitch was the other one?
Holy crap. It was him.
Yeah, I remember the movie.
Okay, and so it was him and why am I blanking on her name? Why am I blanking on? She's super hot. Love her. Okay, so him and her were like aliens from another planet. And like they just kept living their lives over and over again. And till one of them died. And Hancock. Yeah, and so they were from another planet. They would end up like living their lives over and over again until they fell in love.
Charlize Theron.
Thank you, God. I couldn't remember her name to save my life. Super
also
hot. So like they just kept reliving these over and over, and well, they find each other, fall in love, and then it ends up bad things happen or whatever. That is kind of the story of Hawk Girl and Hawkman. Like they die, but they end up being born again, and as soon as they're helped to remember themselves, they remember all of their lives.
Oh wow.
Because they're like some stories say they're Egyptians, some say they're from like another planet.
Right.
Like I think it's Thanagaria. They're Thanagarians, which gives them their wings and their abilities and all that stuff. So that's the story kind of behind them. If you want to get into more than that, read more comic books. Sure. I don't have time. So she's going to be in there. So you're going to have Hot Girl, which love that. But I'm hearing rumors. And we are going to probably hear an announcement soon on who's playing another character in the Superman Legacy movie. Brainiac. They're going to have Brainiac. They're not going to do the Zod thing with this. They're not going to. So Gunn's opening his Superman movie. This will be the first of the Gunverse after your Creature Commandos animated that's going to be on like HBO Max or Max now as it's called.
Right.
After that, your first movie out of the gate for the Gunverse, it's not only going to include in just a Superman movie Lex Luthor, Metamorpho, and Hawk Girl, along with Superman, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, all of that. Which, by the way, secretly, I am rooting for. Holy crap! I'm rooting for. I can see his face. Hates the Cowboys, loves Philly, talks a lot on TV, on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, okay.
How great would it be for Clark Kent and Lois Lane working at the Daily Planet to open the office door to go talk to the main man and Stephen A. Smith be the guy, the editor in charge? How great would that be?
Huh. J. Jonah Jameson?
That's Spider-Man.
Oh. What's the what's the character's name?
I'm gonna let you fill about.
Because you can't remember it either.
I'm gonna let you fill about.
The Daily Planet.
Actually, his name, because you said J. Jonah Jameson's now left my brain.
I knew it. I'll find it. That would be he would be a good one, wouldn't he?
So that would be great. But Brainiac in the movie, I cannot wait. Perry
White. There you go.
Because it was Lawrence Fishburne in The Man of Steel. But yeah, Perry White, him being Stephen A. Smith in that spot, I would love that.
That would be funny.
But having Brainiac and having all these other characters throughout there, along with the Green Lantern, this is a setup for your whole open world.
Right.
This is your setup for your whole DC universe. And you're starting it with your main character, Superman, but also not just having to worry about him holding an entire audience. Because that's been the one thing. If you play Superman right, the side characters need to hold the audience while Superman does Superman things.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Which, by the way, secretly is also what you need with Batman. Mm-hmm. You need the side characters to hold everything so he can just be dark and brooding and then also figure out, how to be a Wayne or be Wayne in that instance. It's the same thing it's not like Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Like Peter Parker, because of all the things that happen with Peter, with the villains and these subplots that go along with it,
right,
can hold a movie. He can. But the depth of Peter Parker, where he can be funny, where he can be also, just sad, mm-hmm. moody, angry, tears coming out of Peter Parker's eyes, can still play, and he can still be Peter Parker. You can't do that with Bruce Wayne. You ain't going to catch, except for, crying over, as a kid, crying over his dead parents. Yeah. You're not going to see that. And with Clark Kent and with, not too many emotions can really go, because he's got to hold everything up and be the Boy Scout, right? And be the signal of hope for everybody. Totally. And you don't really want to show too much of the dark side, because you got to portray that throughout the movie. So, but having these other characters like Brainiac, like Lex Luthor, like these cast of characters that they have that are going to own scenes, literally own scenes, especially if you have a chance to have Nathan Fillion and Holt playing Lex Luthor in a scene together.
That's going to be epic.
To where they're playing off of each other.
Yeah.
Amazing. So this is going to be one of those that really sets the bar for the DC universe, which is, I said I wasn't going to do this too much just in case somebody was listening, but I'm going to go into a little bit of my expectations for the DC universe as we're watching it play out, because in case you haven't noticed the myriad of trailers that are happening for this movie, if you were watching TV, I don't know, tonight, because they really started running the hell out of this trailer. And Momoa has even announced that, hey, everybody go get it, because tickets are going to be sold out. I hope so. I really do. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which It's December something or other that it's opening. If we go by the test screenings, which I told you guys about, it's not going to do well. It's not going to do well. Maybe everything's fixed because Momoa plays a great Aquaman, and the characters that you. By the way, they didn't bring back Willem Dafoe for Lost Kingdom. He's not there. Other characters are there. Ocean Master's there. You have and Black Mana's, being played right. That all looks great. The problem that even with the past Aquaman that I had was for all the underwater scenes,
the
CGI looked a little off a lot of times. But it was still a good movie. I still liked the first Aquaman. I thought it was good.
I did too.
So going into this one, you do have a couple of plot points because they're getting into a little bit of the minutia that started making people not really like Aquaman's character until they had to do the whole change where they cut off his hand, gave him a hook and long hair, and he was more of a biker dude, kind of the way Momoa was playing him. But they're going through some of that storyline that people kind of lost interest in Aquaman, and they're trying to dig good out of it, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it. But if it goes like it's looking like it's going, when it gets released to film and people go see it and they come back and they go, that wasn't quite it, bud. Kind of like what they did with the Flash. There was so much hope for the Flash, and then it was turned into the Flush, and then it was like maybe it'll be okay, and then it's not. It's kind of what's looking like it's going to happen with the Lost Kingdom. If it does, here's the other thing with the DC universe you can expect to happen, and I haven't really seen anybody just commit to this as far as your insiders. They just hinted at it, but I'm going to commit to it. If Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom totally just goes down the toilet and doesn't do well, as it's going down into the toilet, you will hear announced that Momoa is taking on the role because it's already being put into pre-production. There's already word out on the street that it's been put into pre-production, and this is really up James Gunn's alley. That the Lobo movie will be heading your way, and with Jason Momoa playing Lobo. I've told you that's the plan that was going into it, but here's where their bets have to be hedged, just in case this movie, I was going to say shitstorm because that's what people called it when they watched the to go basically the audience screenings, the test screenings. If it goes into theaters and it catches fire, this is to show you kind of where a lot of these movies are at when they're putting them together. They know a formula, but they're not quite sure what formula works. That's the reason why we get crappy movies a lot. So if it's awesome and great, then none of this happens. But the backup plan or the main plan is that if it's not awesome and great, he's no longer playing the Aquaman character, which is why at the end of the Flash movie, you've got in the last scene where you have him not even knowing that he was Aquaman because he was on a different world, because basically Ezra Miller killed everything that happened before it and reset the whole damn thing. So the release of that. So this Aquaman movie, if it does good and blows everything out of the water, could change everything, and Momoa could be Aquaman forever. But more than likely what's going to happen is it's not going to do good, and you're going to end up with Lobo, which is how could I describe Lobo to you? I know I've tried to do this before, Tim, but
we looked up pictures of him one time.
We did. I really want you to know this character. Let's say Dog the Bounty Hunter. But Dog the Bounty Hunter, not what his persona was, like what you actually saw, but what he wanted to be like really. super badass.
Yeah.
That, you know, the motorcycle, the everything, and just went and got all the hard criminals and put them in jail. And that's what you were sold before what you saw.
Yeah.
That's what Lobo is. He's basically just he's a bad guy. He's not a good guy, but he ends up being a good guy, just doing it the bad guy way.
Gotcha.
Like, he'll take a motherfucker's head off, like, no problem whatsoever. So,
I like this guy already.
he's smart mouth. He's Deadpool if he was if Deadpool, instead of mixing with Wolverine, mixed with Superman and also rode a motorcycle and then liked to throw a chained hook at people, then that would be what your character would be looking at. So
sweet.
So you have that possibly coming up. And finally, I want to get to my hopes, especially what happened with the Marvel movie, the Captain Marvel movie not doing so well. And again, we did get into that. I want to get right back into it real quick. We have the X-Men coming about in the MCU. You have Captain Marvel, the Marvels, who's now, this is her second movie, but it's with everybody else. I'm thinking her character doesn't have very much longer, bud.
Yeah, you were telling me that. Made me sad.
So, nobody said this, but especially with the movie doing bad, and you have the introduction of the X-Men coming, truly 2025 is when the Sony characters' contracts are up. So you have them coming in, and you need, as they're pointing out, the nostalgia over the X-Men, whatever is the old X-Men cartoon. I think they're going to try and really form that up, kind of like what they were in that. And one of the main storylines that they did, besides every other X-Men storyline, was the Captain Marvel part of the X-Men, where Rogue is about, she's not on the good guys team yet, and she pretty much wipes out Captain Marvel.
Still going to be sad.
So, in order for her to gain the super strength and flying and all of that Captain Marvel has, so she can actually be the true Rogue that you have in the animated classic X-Men cartoon. In order to have that, you're going to have to take out Captain Marvel, because in case you don't know, Captain Marvel is taken on, and it's actually Carol Danvers, is taken out by Rogue, because Rogue's ability is to take her superpowers by just touching her skin. So she just keeps taking them until pretty much Carol Danvers is put into a coma and never to be heard from again.
I don't know how I feel about that.
So
she's my favorite character.
You know what? Brie Larson, I really like Brie Larson. It would be like, let's see, how could I put this? There's not many other characters I hate as much as Captain Marvel, to be honest with you.
I know, and that's well documented why.
It is. I'm a Shazam guy.
Yeah.
So there you go. Who used to be Captain Marvel back in the day before the lawsuits and stuff. Right. But yeah, just wait till we get introduced to Wonder Man. That's also coming, by the way.
Lord.
It's not DC. It's the MCU has Wonder Man. So that was one of their bite backs to all that crap. F you guys.
And we'll see it. Yeah,
we probably will. So here's looking at, by the way, the Marvels. It's not as bad as everybody's saying. It's not. And also, real quick, the Loki Disney Plus series. Have you finished it yet?
Mm-hmm. I have so many questions.
It's pretty badass.
I mean, I think it is.
But you're not sure?
I don't know what happened.
That is exactly what I love, is you're pretty sure it was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I don't know what happened. Like, I haven't seen you since I finished it, obviously. We hadn't seen each other. But I've been meaning to ask you, like, you're going to have to explain the last episode to me. I don't know what happened. Is Loki dead? Is he stuck? He can never leave that place?
Let's just put you this way. Hiddleston was quoted in saying, well, my character's been dead before.
Right, but he's not actually dead.
No.
He's just the one that's holding all of the timelines together.
Right.
So he can't leave
until it's fixed.
With what? How you fixed it? I thought he did fix it, but with him.
Until it's permanently fixed, bud. Why do you think they're going to have these other Avengers movies and stuff?
Are we going to have more Loki seasons?
I'm pretty sure not. I'm pretty sure yes, seeing as how that's one of the few successful ones that they've had.
It's making money, huh?
So there you go.
No, I enjoyed it thoroughly. What happened?
Him at the end. Amazing. So there you are. There is your mystery shotgun. We're not done with your comic stuff, by the way. If you really love this, stay tuned because coming up next, because we got a commercial here. Coming up next, Tim's found a list, and the list is the best teenage superheroes. So we're going to get in a little bit of that. Plus, he's probably found some audio stuff that he thinks is funny. And we're going to play that on the Colby Sapp and IndyCar Tim Show.